Stranger Things! It's a bit spooky, innit? Oh, look how strange everything is. Apparently we're still teenagers had its finale. And I'm finally ready. So let's talk about it. The final episode of Season 5 of Stranger Things, the big finale, dropped on either New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, depending on where you are in the world, and it's extremely divisive. Some people said they absolutely loved it, some people said they hated it, or some people like me disliked it, but can try and find good things in it. So let's talk about it. Before we carry on, I'm going to say spoilers straight away. If you haven't seen it and you haven't even watched Stranger Things, why are you here? This is just my big opinion on it, coming from a critical and filmmaking kind of perspective, just so you all are aware. Spoilers, that's the way I'm looking at it. I've got some thoughts. You can disagree. I really don't care. Like I said, this episode is the culmination of everything. The gang are trying to get across to the abyss so they can take out Vecna.
Just fighting Vecna. Hive mind.
They manage to do so with some dramatic things happening in the meantime, and once they get there, with Nancy looking like Rambo,
I am.
and Mike existing, and Winona Ryder's also there for some reason, they find Vecna and the 12 children. Not only do they find Vecna, they find out Vecna was a puppet all along. Like a lot of people assumed, it was the Mind Flayer, as it was stated in Season 2 and Season 3. It was always the Mind Flayer. Even though in previous seasons it stated it was about 11, it didn't end up really being about 11. We get a very anticlimactic final battle where everyone's involved in some way, beating up the Mind Flayer by throwing Molotov cocktails at it and shooting it and stabbing it, and 11 points her hand really hard at Vecna and impales him on a thing, minimizing his threat completely from previous seasons. And that's the end of it. That's the end of the actual arc of what was going on and the threat. We don't really get any resolution. We find out it's all because of a funny rock, and we find out that Henry Vecna was an asshole all along and he just happened to get a rock, and some people have found that heartbreaking for some reason. I don't know. And then we get an hour-long wrap-up of different people in different scenes talking about their feelings and having these emotional climaxes.
Figure something out. We'll figure something out. We'll fight back. We always do.
I need you to talk to the others.
No.
And that is my problem with this episode. The Duffer Brothers, for this entire season, have focused on emotional climax, not thematical climax. And you may say, hey, Dan, there was a climax to the story, and theatrically there was. They wrote it, it fixed. Yeah, but it wasn't the focus. The focus of this main season really has been emotional. Before we carry on, guys, if you can leave a like and subscribe, it's a little thing for you, but it really helps out the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. The thing that has not been noticed or even said by people that I know is that if you thematically create a proper good climax, the emotion will come along with it. And if you just write the emotion and go, everything else is just done, it's how everyone feels about it, you're forcing it.
We're not.
And a lot of people felt it was really forced and out of place. Pacing wise, it was off. It felt, like I said, anticlimactic, and that's how I genuinely feel about this whole episode. I felt that a lot of people were underused. They didn't know how to use everybody, but the Duffer Brothers felt like they needed to use everybody. Now, at the point of recording, I have not watched the One More Trip or Journey or whatever it's called documentary about the making of this season. I have specifically not watched it, so all of my thoughts are solely from the perspective of watching the episode.
We look ridiculous.
I have heard things, I'm trying to ignore them, but all those things I've heard, say it again, all the things I've heard just reinforced feelings I already had about the scripting, about the lack of action and adventure when it comes to the actual plot of the story, and the pressure that they got from Netflix. I assumed from watching this episode and watching the entire season in general that they wanted to get this done. Netflix wanted this finished.
I believe. I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
And I've seen clips that reinforce that statement. They said they had issues writing the script or figuring out what to do with all these ideas that they had and all these things that they had created. And apparently that's also reinforced in there. I don't know. This is just how I feel. Seeing that, I can see the problems on the screen. And for me, I've had a lot of backlash from the conversations I've had about this episode. For me, it falls flat. It's not Game of Thrones level bad, but it is a disappointing ending because it simply diminishes. It diminishes the threat. It diminishes the journey that we've been on. It forgets. It ignores. It just flat out gets rid of certain things. And this episode raised so many questions after. It's something that I like to call fridge logic. And I'm sure lots of people call it that. It's a term I heard many years ago, where you're watching it at the time, and then a couple of hours later, you might be doing something innocuous, like going and looking in the fridge. And then bam, it hits you. You go, wait a minute, how did that work? What had happened here? That makes no sense. And there was so much of that in this episode. It's a disappointment. I think this episode is a bit of a joke, in all honesty. Hence the thumbnail. I think this is a bit of a joke. It doesn't have that same skill and polish and care that the rest of the seasons seem to have. And it goes to show that the Duffer Brothers are really good at short form narrative. Say season 1, they had a beginning and an end, and they had ideas and they knew how to get there. But they weren't big, bombastic action thing. It wasn't this huge scale. It was a small town. It was a short-ish story. And this 5th season finale goes to show that all these mystery box ideas that they came up with just couldn't be resolved. And even in this season alone, the things they came up with disappear. The pregnant women, the army, the 12 kids. Why was 11 so important before, but she's not really that important now? Why is it if Vecna can just walk in through a portal and come into this plane of existence, why doesn't he? Why does he need to merge the universes? It still doesn't really explain what the universe... Oh, it's a wormhole. Yeah, but why is it that? Why is it these stuck in time, different points of existence? Why is gravity one way? Why is the Mind Flayer obsessed with being cold when the abyss is hot? Where are all the Demogorgons? These questions come up and they can't be answered because they weren't either thought through or they were thought as not important because they wanted to just wrap this up. And that is the problem I have with this. Thematically, they had so much, and instead of portraying that on screen, they described it to us throughout the season because it's an extremely dialogue heavy season. And in that last episode, they wrap it up with a quick CGI fight where there's no stakes, there's no danger, everyone comes out fine, and then they just tell you about everyone's story and how it ended and how they're all happy now. It's disappointing, and frankly, we deserved better. And I have not, like I said, not watched that episode, and I don't want to get too much into Conformity Gate, but I had my own feelings on that. And what this fandom and many fandoms do when they're faced with a disappointment like this, they lie.
How do we know it's true? We don't.
They say anything to make themselves feel better because you're invested so much in something. It's okay to admit you're disappointed. And frankly, I thought this thematically, it still left so many unexplained things that the Duffer Brothers can't even explain because they didn't have an explanation. There's something called mystery box story writing, or the mystery box in general. J.J. Abrams kind of coined this kind of term where it's you put something in your story that creates intrigue. It's not a MacGuffin. A MacGuffin is something that drives the story. It's just a thing. A mystery box is something that you want to use. You go, I don't know exactly what this is, but it's in there and you want to know what that is. And we don't know how it relates to the story, but it's intriguing and it gets the people moving and it gets the people going. And the problem that J.J. Abrams had, and clearly the Duffer Brothers had, is they don't know how to unveil what's in the mystery box and resolve it. I'm gonna say it, pretty shit. I fucking was so disappointed. And I have spent the last 2.5 weeks really thinking about it, trying not to be disappointed. But frankly, I'm fucking pissed off that I've invested 10 years into a show that I love Stranger Things.
If you want to know the truth, I've been pretty pissed off about it.
Language.
but
I still love Stranger Things. It's episode season 1 and 2, absolutely incredible. Season 3, yeah. Season 4, great. With some, you could see the cracks. But season 5, it started okay. I was invested, and by the end of it, I am just pissed off. And it's now been announced that there's loads of spin-offs coming and everything like that. They're going to be animated or focus on someone else who's not as expensive or whatever. It's crap. It's crap to think that it's okay for us to just be happy with this kind of level. It is mid. It's not like I said, it's not Game of Thrones. It's not awful, but it's meh. Nah, it's nothing. It's so just below the expectation of what you should have had. This episode should have been the ultimate climax of defeating Vecna or the Mind Flayer, whoever's in charge. It should have felt like a struggle. It should have been earned. It was not earned. I recently finally got to watch Godzilla -1. The ending of that film feels earned. You feel the pressure. You feel the stakes. You feel the danger, and you feel the resolution of people's story arcs. And in this, felt like there was no danger, there felt like there was no struggle, and everyone's story arcs just got told to you. Oh, by the way, we're happy and doing great jobs now. We moved away, the army left. Oh, I'm happy now because I'm getting married. Oh, I got to, let go of my baggage about Eddie. The best part of that wrap-up was the graduation. It was great. I enjoyed that graduation, and it should have ended there. These kids are finally grown up and become adults. But it doesn't. It just keeps going and going and going. The Duffer Brothers didn't want to get rid of any characters in this main cast. And I'm not saying people should have been killed off, just willy-nilly. Again, killing characters for the sake of shock value doesn't work. But creating truly big stakes and creating a dramatic moment works. And you could have done that with any one of these characters if they'd have just taken the time. They did not need to force every single character into this. 15 characters, I believe it is, needed a wrap up according to the Duffer Brothers. And it fails in my eye. It fails. It becomes a cheesy, stereotypical Hallmark episode. And it pissed me off. It's a joke that they went that way. And when I say I'm disappointed, but I try and see the good things in it. There was some great effects in it. There were some good ideas, but the execution was poor. It just left you with going, oh, okay, that's over then. That's it. It didn't leave me with the feeling of, oh my God, I'm so glad that that ended so well. I feel so happy. I felt drained and disappointed. For this episode as well, it's a 4 out of 10 at best, and I will be doing a big video on Conformity Gate among other things, and I'm just really disappointed that this is how it went, and there's so much in it that I want to talk about, but that'll end up making this video 1,000,000 hours long because there was just so many issues. It felt like we were lied to. I felt like I was lied to. Yeah, this should have done better. What do you guys think about this? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more news and reviews. Head over to my Patreon if you want to help support the channel and get honest reviews. I've been told I'm too honest and I'm hard to please, but you get honesty right here. I tell you exactly how I feel, coming from a filmmaking standpoint, an enjoyment standpoint, a critical standpoint, and, a personal standpoint. There's exclusive videos over there, and you can help support the channel, help me do more reviews like this. And until the next time, guys, happy watching.